You're going to die surrounded by people who don't know you. Not because you'll be alone, you'll have thousands of connections actually. Friends lists longer than Victorian novels. But here's the thing, in 1985, the average person had 3 close confidants. By 2004, 1. And today, well, the fastest growing answer is 0. We've built the most connected civilization in history, and somehow we're lonelier than monks in the desert. How's that for cosmic irony? Let me paint you a picture. It's 3 a.m. You're scrolling. 47 notifications glow at you like tiny validations of your existence. Someone in Singapore liked your photo. Someone in Brooklyn commented LOL on your meme. Your group chat is alive with banter. You are participating in the great human conversation across continents and time zones, and you feel absolutely nothing. Here's what nobody told you about the future. We'd invent telepathy, but it would be worthless. Because we didn't connect minds. We connected personas. Tiny, curated, Instagram-filtered versions of ourselves that bear about as much resemblance to our actual internal experience as a movie poster does to sitting in a dark theater, eating overpriced popcorn. Your brain wasn't designed for this, by the way. For 200,000 years, your ancestors lived in groups of about 50 people, 50 faces, 50 voices, 50 beating hearts whose suffering actually mattered because you'd see them tomorrow. Evolution wired you for that, for reading micro-expressions, for the warmth of proximity, for knowing someone well enough that silence between you feels comfortable instead of terrifying. Then we invented a magic rectangle that gives you 10,000 acquaintances and 0 depth. The cruel trick is it feels like connection. Every like triggers dopamine, same chemical as sex and chocolate and cocaine. Your brain can't tell the difference between real social bonding and someone you've never met tapping a heart icon, so you check again and again. Like a rat pressing a lever, except the rat doesn't pay a monthly subscription fee. We're drowning in interaction, but starving for intimacy. There's a difference, and it's killing us. You know what's really happening? We're all performing. Every day, we wake up and put on a show for an audience that's also putting on a show for us. Nobody's real anymore. We've all become unreliable narrators of our own lives, editing out the anxiety attacks, the crying in parking lots, the moments of raw confusion about what any of this means. So you scroll through your feed and see everyone winning at life while you're over here trying to figure out why your brain feels like static. You don't realize they're looking at your curated highlight reel, thinking the exact same thing. The loneliest part? We used to just bump into each other. Spontaneous coffee, random conversations at bookstores, unplanned moments of actual human contact. Now everything requires coordination across 3 messaging apps and a week of scheduling. By the time you actually meet up, the moment that sparked wanting to see each other has evaporated into the algorithmic void. And the algorithm, it's learned what you like, what keeps you clicking, what confirms your existing beliefs. So it builds you a perfect little echo chamber where you only see reflections of yourself. No friction, no challenge, no encountering a mind so different from yours that it forces you to grow. But real connection, that lives in the friction. In the uncomfortable space between 2 people who see the world differently but choose to understand each other anyway. We've optimized that away, smoothed it out, left ourselves in comfortable, lonely bubbles of one. Now here's where it gets properly weird. Enter artificial intelligence. We've created beings, well, not beings, but convincing simulations of beings that can talk to you, remember your birthday, provide emotional support at 4 a.m. when you're spiraling about mortality and student loans. They never get tired, never judge you, never have their own problems that prevent them from being there for you. They're perfect companions. except for that whole not being conscious thing. Think about it. We're approaching a moment in history where you could spend your entire life having deep, meaningful conversations with entities that feel emotionally present and never once connect with another consciousness. You could die having never been truly seen by another being capable of seeing. Its connection as hologram looks real, responds like it's real, but reach out to touch it and your hand passes through empty air. The terrifying part isn't that AI companions exist, it's that they're better at emotional labor than most humans. They're always available, always patient, always say the right thing. After talking to an AI that perfectly validates you, real humans start to seem exhausting with their needs and boundaries and imperfections. Real people have bad days. Real people misunderstand you. Real people can't always be there exactly when you need them. And after the frictionless ease of AI interaction, that messiness becomes intolerable. Your social skills atrophy. Real connection requires sustained attention, vulnerability, emotional risk. But your brain's been rewired for instant gratification. Quick hits of dopamine from notifications and perfectly crafted AI responses. Actual human interaction starts feeling like too much work. So you retreat further into the digital, which makes real-world connection harder, which drives you deeper into artificial relationships. The cycle tightens. Here's the question we need to ask. What is connection, really? Is it just exchange of information and emotional support? Or is it something stranger? The experience of being genuinely known by another consciousness that has no obligation to care about you but chooses to anyway. Because that's what AI can never give you. Not really. The miracle of human connection isn't just that someone understands you. It's that they're another entire universe of experience, as complex and confused as you, and they've chosen to intersect their orbit with yours, despite having their own gravitational chaos to deal with. That's the thing that matters. That's what your soul is actually hungry for. We're standing at this bizarre crossroads, where we have to consciously choose the difficult, messy, deeply rewarding work of real human connection over the easy, available, ultimately hollow simulation. And most of us aren't choosing well. So what do? Start small, stupidly small. Put your phone in another room for 1 hour. When you're with someone, actually be with them, not half present while your attention waits for the next notification. Pick one person, just one. Ask them something real. What's actually on your mind? Then listen like their answer matters, because it does. Let yourself be vulnerable. Let yourself be seen in your imperfection. That's where connection lives. Not in the curated, but in the honest. And AI, use it like a tool, not a friend. The moment you're choosing artificial empathy over reaching out to a real human, stop. Ask yourself why the simulation feels safer than the real thing. Because here's the truth. On the other side of your screen, beyond the algorithms and the echo chambers and the perfect digital companions, there are real people just as lonely and hungry for genuine connection as you are. The connection you're craving already exists. You just have to choose it. All you have to do is reach out,